I was heavily inspired by Otakubee's video called Scammy Bird. Check his video out. Janwa Cool is an Instagram artist?
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Oyasumi Punpun, or Goodnight Punpun, is a Japanese manga written and illustrated by Inoue Asano. It details the life of Punpun, depicted as a little bird, as he faces one tragedy after another. And Janwa Cool somehow came across Punpun Orodara, and he got an idea, and he proceeded to create things like this.
My style is ridiculous.
Janwa Cool basically took a character that is known from its often depressing and disturbing manga and then turned it into something else entirely. Which would not be the problem except for the fact that he changed literally nothing else about it. On the Steam workshop where this model originates, it is called Punpun. He also tags videos with Punpun earlier, but then he later removes the tags. It's implied that he knows that this character is called Punpun because he uses Punpun's actual name, Punpun Orodara. But for some reason, even though that he is literally using a model of a character from a manga he doesn't own and claims it as his original character called Silly Bird, he still continues to gaslight his viewers or in fact ignore them when people try to ask him about where he got the character originally. Not you pirating Punpun, again, trying to make it look like your own thing. Asano Inoue, this guy's trying to steal Punpun. You lack so much originality, it's embarrassing. Bro, just make a new Silly Bird model. Pay someone to do so. The model is Punpun, and the character you're attempting to profit off of is Punpun. If you want your little bird guy to actually be uniquely original, step it up and make your own. Asano Inoue chain. Asano Inoue. Asano Inoue. Silly Bird. Asano Inoue. Silly Bird's name is not Punpun, it's Silly Bird. Punpun's name is Punpun. Silly Bird's name is Silly Bird. They are clearly different characters. What the fuck is this guy on? I also think it's pretty funny that Janwa Cool's originality has never been here in the first place because he literally has a Kirby recolor as his profile picture. He's banking off of nostalgia from Gary's mod, Half-Life, Cruelty Squad, so he can make a quick buck and sell everything for $70. That's so expensive just for like a stupid jacket with a PNG on it. And then he also made Earthbound swim trunks, literally just a screenshot of Earthbound put on swim trunks. You're playing with fire, dude. Nintendo's gonna get your ass. That's literally just a map from the game, dude. You can't even draw it yourself. Look, I can go into my art program and green screen a shirt and then just put something on it. Like, dude, it's that easy. Mr. Janwa Cool is like, hello, this is my original character, Silly Bird, and I am selling plushes of Silly Bird for $45. Wow, what wonderful characters. I'm sure that people will definitely buy merch of them and also assume that they are not the original property that they are just blatantly stolen from. I have kind of like a theory on this as well. The reason why he hasn't made Silly Bird plushes, but he's made Sweetie Bird, Bobby Bird, Kevin Bird, or whatever plushes is that Silly Bird looks too much like Punpun. Heck, even is just Punpun. So like, if he sells a plush of that, people are gonna be like, that's just fucking Punpun, dude. But he can do Sweetie Bird and Bobby Bird technically because they're not really Punpun, but they have the same general shape and whatever to Punpun. They resemble Punpun, but oh no, they are pink and they are blue. So that means they are technically not Punpun. Do you see where I'm going with this? He does have original drawings, but they're also just as bad as the other drawings on his shirts that he's been selling for $50. He's also selling a stupid PNG of Kevin Bird's Skibidi toilet for $30. Why? With literally a Nike cap. Who bought this? It's so low effort. Are you, like, insulting me? Why does he think that this is acceptable? You're just peddling, like, low-effort garbage for money that is not even what it's worth. That's just scummy. I feel like that's an insult to anyone who wants to buy his stuff, because it looks like he's just pumping this shit out so that he can just make a quick buck.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Nothing that he makes aside from the Gmod videos or even his own content. Everything he has built his career off of is not his. He has nothing to his name and will never have anything to his name because all of it is not his. So recently, Janwa Cool got into some hot water because he said he supports AI art, wearing a shirt that said AI art is art. What's really funny though, and this is something that Otakubee also brings up, is that he's been doing this since the beginning of his account. He's been doing this for a while, and People are suddenly realizing this? Some of my bird sightings from the past couple of days. All images generated from scratch using my own custom AI tool, Source Diffusion version 2, based on birds I see daily. Make a robot face. My latest work with Brain Art Labs under the project Codexter. These generative artworks were created using a text-to-code workflow where commands written in English were given to GPT-3 and translated into JavaScript code. If the photo wasn't so shitty, I might actually vibe with it, but it feels really iffy considering that it was made with AI, created from AI, and then probably created in a sweatshop to be sold for $70 online. I also think it's funny where he posts, AI art is art, and literally one of the pictures he generated has 3 legs. Oh, he also makes really shitty NFTs too, by the way, so if you wanted to have another thing to not like about him, then yeah. It seems like he's like a trend hopper, where he jumped on every new single piece of technology that came out in the past few years that tech bros have been experimenting with and then have cast into the wind when it didn't suit them, including NFTs and AI art. He still uses AI art and he's such a staunch advocate of it now, but back then he just kind of experimented with it, threw it to the wayside, picked up PunPun, started making his own brand, quote unquote, and then went back to AI art. He did have original art, quote unquote, back then, but it wasn't good. And I feel like he might have went to AI art because he couldn't draw by himself. And to me, I think that explains just the absolute incompetence of that he could be making original things and he could be creating his own artwork that people will love, but instead he is using other people's artwork and other people's properties and other people's ideas. To me, that is the absolute death of creativity, and I don't understand why someone would go down this route.